Good afternoon, everyone. As usual, I'm just going to give a couple of seconds to allow you guys to come in before we start the business of the day. How are you guys doing? Today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, and this is noon. I'm sure a lot of people are on your break time, just caught up in traffic. Those at home working remotely, how has it been? Hope everything is moving on smoothly. Okay, I think we will just continue even as people keeps coming in. Good afternoon once again. For those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, my name is Gagba Esahaya, and I'm the training coordinator of the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small businesses start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to low cost webinars. We are proud to be part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Center, which has over 1,000 networks across the state. You are here this afternoon for a webinar on next step to video marketing, how to improve. A copy of the PowerPoint and a link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Being a webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your questions on the Q&A or the chat box. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome our wonderful speaker, even as he takes over the floor for the presentation. Mr. Gordon, you are welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is GordonDelGiorno. I'm with Film Brothers. We're out of Wilmington, Delaware. And for the people that attended last month's session, the first part of this is going to be a refresher on that. And then we're going to get to breaking down some video components of what to put in your video, different elements, and why we're doing that. So I'm going to show you some examples once we get into it further. And those are the next steps in how to really, cobble together a really effective video for your business. So, but it's always good when you're throwing a ton of information out there. For me anyway, is even the people that have been here the first time, it's kind of a refresher. Sometimes you say things again, then you pick up new things, hopefully, if I'm doing my job correctly. So I'm going to move forward from here. And then afterwards, once we're all done, send your questions in or send them as you get them. And then usually about 25 minutes at the end, I'll be able to take some questions or answer some questions. So if you want to send them in the chat as we go, I'll get to them once we're done. So I'm going to move forward here if it's okay with you. Again, I'm Film Brothers. I've been a small business like many of you either have or are starting yourselves since 1999. And I always am careful about saying small business, because if you're going to the perception that if you're dealing with a big business on some sort of thing that you're trying to sell to them and people say small business, it kind of makes you look like maybe they're not as good or maybe they're not as effective or their product. So I don't really like using small business. Once I've got established, now I just say I'm a business. So hopefully you'll get there too, although you can take advantage of small business loans and small business. So it's kind of a bit of a catch, but that's just my take on it. Our history is I did a film 20 years ago, lost a lot of money, and then decided around 2006 to start making videos because YouTube was starting to explode. And I can say that most businesses still don't use video. If they do it, they don't use it effectively. And it's kind of just sort of sitting housed somewhere. They're not really using it to their advantage proactively. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Escaping the retail mentality, which, the physical and virtual experiences of, I'm just going to set up bricks and mortar and set up a store somewhere and people are going to come. I'm going to put nice, pretty signs up. Just doesn't. That's what I call the retail mentality. When they say, well, why isn't anybody buying? They're not coming to the store. Well, you just sort of set up and you didn't go out and get them. And so we talk about proactively using video. Virtual experience is the same thing. I'm going to make a website and people are going to come and start buying. It just doesn't happen. And then they blame it on the economy, or they blame it on, the mayor of their town or whoever it is. And it's really just about you going out and being proactive. And video really, I believe, is one of the best tools you can use. The advertising traps for startup business, if you're just starting up business and they want you to buy ad space, or you have a budget, say, of a couple $1,000s, or whatever your number is, 20,000, $10, whatever it is, and they're told, well, you got to go in this magazine and just buy an ad in there, and it's a great magazine that reaches 100,000 people, or the newspaper, the local newspaper. Again, I always go back to video. A lot of my colleagues who are friends of mine that are in the magazine business or the newspaper business don't particularly like me because I'm taking business from them, because video is just so much more powerful and engaging if it's done correctly. So that's kind of an overview of my business. And we talk about the power of video. If you look at humans are visual, so we don't always hear everything. So when we read it or see it, we absorb it better, generally speaking. So if you look at this woman's eyes, now if we put this in motion, they say, a picture says 1,000 words. Well, a video or a film or movement, imagine the words they say there. It's just more engaging, even more engaging than these beautiful eyes. If you put them in motion, it's really even, it takes it up even 10, 20, 100-fold. Do I hire a video company or do I do it myself? Now, I'm assuming that most of you are small startups. You may not be able to hire a video company, but at some point you may say, hey, I don't have the time to do this. So, then you may be able to get a cost-effective way and hire one. But we're going to talk more about the do-it-yourself stuff right now and how to use. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you in, please. Could you please turn on your video, because we really can't see your face, and some of the attendees are asking if you could turn it on so that we can see your face.
Well, I'm going to use my, okay, I guess I can. Let me just see. Is this better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, folks. So thanks for waiving the dress code. Like, put me on the spot here. So I'm in my kids thing right now, and I'm wearing a hat. I guess pants are optional, right? So I'm going to keep moving on to the do-it-yourself. So a cost-effective do-it-yourself obviously is going to be a lot cheaper, unless you're taking away, your time is taken away from your business, your operations, your sales, whatever you're doing to create sales for yourself. You can use a camera, a tablet, or a consumer camcorder, which can be used. You have limited editing capabilities, but that's been changing with iPhones and stuff, where you actually have editing suites you can use. And we're going to really break down videos today. Real-time happenings and events are great if you have a phone in your hand. I mean, you can get it, and as it's happening, if it's going to help your business. So some of that. But again, it's your time spent versus other business opportunities and functions that you have if you're going to do it yourself. But let's just assume you are right now, because otherwise, hopefully you'll hire me and my company if you really need, to free up your time. It's really about time. Who is your audience? When you think about marketing, this is generally speaking, what are their hot buttons? What are their sensitive spots? What's your message? I like to narrow everything down to what is the emotional need, right? So that simplifies things a little more. When you think about why would somebody want to buy your product, or why would somebody want to, buy your service or do business with you? A lot of these hot buttons down here, they want to save time, money, aggravation. I mean, maybe there's things happening depending on what you're selling. They make life easier. These are products, maybe they're household products you're selling, and it just makes their life easier using those. Rather than not. Make them happier, stand out in the crowd, sexier. Maybe there's some sort of beauty products. It's about them. Self-worth, gain the edge, help you to win. Make it about them, not about, I find so many times in videos where people are talking about themselves and saying, this is our product and our product does this, and we've been in business this many years and that. I mean, that's nice, but really you have to hook people early. When you put a message out. So you have to really make it about them and their emotional need, which is When I say emotional need, doesn't mean emotional like crying or happy. It's kind of like aggravation, like, man, I'm wasting so much time, and this product would help me save time in what I'm doing. That's the emotional need we're talking about. You got to get inside the head of your viewer, and there's so many different hot buttons that you can hit. So that's kind of a big thing when you're making your video. If you're pre-doing it, your pre-production is to figure out what your audience, who your audience is, and what your message is going to be, or messages. What's your purpose of the video? There's different styles, right? There's promotional, which is an overview of your products or services, and you explain those, and again, how it's going to benefit them. Make it a you environment, meaning you, the customer, not about me. It's about you. So the products, you need to show the features and the benefits of those products. How are they going to benefit from them? That's important in your messaging. A demo might be, I just did some for some guy that did plumbing valve wraps over pipes, and that was his product, and he did a demo, and that was a couple minutes long, which may or may be too long, especially on social media. We'll talk about that. But showing how it works, and then people say, oh, that's pretty easy. I like the way that is. It's simple for me to use, and so they would buy. An event, catching a moment in real time. If you're catching an event, that's important to your business. So these are different styles of video. Using a phone or tablet is your best bet. Now this is very basic stuff. People turn them this way, and it's vertical, and you get the sides of black. You want to turn it horizontally when you film, because you're going to get more of a beauty shot of these honey buns than this sort of kind of shot overhead. So you got to get down up close and personal. The way you frame your shots is important. Lighting your subject, the subject meaning these sticky buns. The light should be at the back coming in. Otherwise, you'll get kind of a silhouette a lot of times. Well, no, it should be coming in the front, or you'll get a silhouette, sorry. So, you want to hit them in the face, but not overexpose it. Now, we talked about framing, wide versus close up. If you go wide, you can see all this stuff on my walls from my kids and stuff like that. It's distracting. So you want to kind of get your framing a little closer. If whatever the subject is, whether it be a person or an object or whatever it is, so people focus on that and not what's over their shoulders and things like that. And then when you're doing audio, you do what I call the 2-foot rule, is get within 2 feet of the person or the who's speaking, if you're doing that kind of thing. So that's sort of the basics. Editing your video, you want to make it 30 seconds or less, really, if you can, unless you're using it and you're targeting it in a different way, and we'll talk about that later. But if you're doing social media, people's attention span is very short. Sometimes 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and it's kind of fast paced and moving, or you're teeing them up to get them to your website, or get them a call to action to call you later or contact you about, what you're selling. Things that are anything more than that are difficult to download, especially on phones and stuff like that. You get to an airdrop and things like that. Some people can't get them. Again, we talked about attention span, social media limitations, and you don't get a lot of polishing options. Like you can't put your logo and branding and stuff like that. But that's not exactly true, but it's more limited than if you had an editing suite. And do you have the time to do this? That's the question. Do you have the time to do this and build a business? That's up to you. But those are some of the things. Now I'm going to get into a video breakdown. I did something for the independent school. I'm going to show it to you. It's a little under 2 minutes long. And then we're going to go back from that point, and I'm going to break it down for you, why certain things are in there for certain messages and things like this. And hopefully this will help you. You'll have access to this when we're done. Hopefully this will help you later. Let me see if I can pull that up. And I'm going to have to start it again. Let me go to full video here. I'm just going to stop my video so you can see the whole thing. It won't be distracting. So this is for a school, a private school.
Independent students our job is to go out into the community after we're done at the school and better the community as well. You're more comfortable getting out of your comfort zone.
The school really cultivates that sense of responsibility, and it was like a switch that occurred. All of a sudden, I had no need to look at notebooks and no need to require my son to have a certain number of minutes every day studying, because he just took care of it himself. I think that's due to the peer culture and the teachers moving the kids along.
For our children, since we're very involved in community service, I love that coming in at 3 years old already, you could see that the teachers and the curriculum had something to do with citizenship, giving back, and just being a good person.
Being a good leader is really delving into something deeply, thoroughly, genuinely, with integrity, and then being able to share that information. Once we explain to them that their goal here is to share their knowledge and their mastery of a topic with a group, that's when they understand what a good leader does.
Okay, so let's break this video down, and I can probably rub through it a little bit. And I think I could take some questions after this, because it might be a good time to do that if you have questions as we go through this. So if you think about who our target audience was, it was really children and their parents. There were children that could range anywhere from 6, 7 years old up into their teens, into high school, because that's their market. So we had to think about what was the messaging and how we were going to say it. If you see, the music's fast paced, the cuts are hard. This is actually longer than I would put on social media, but this was targeted towards websites and was targeted to emails, where it was embedded into an email. And it was sent out to prospective parents, and kids were able to, they did shorter versions of this for Instagram. So it was reaching out to those places where those kids were. And so you think about, first of all, who was our audience? We talked about that earlier. And so we have to be fast paced, and we have to make it an exciting place, hopefully, that they would want to go to school there. So that's kind of where we are. If you look at some of those messages, I'm going to try to rub through it here. This is called like a hybrid of like little testimonials that we sprinkled in there. They told the story. And if you look at collaborate and all those little buzzwords that were coming up, they're action words. So it's engaging them that you're going to be able to collaborate. It's about what, again, you're making it a you environment. This was all about the kids and their experience that they may have at this school. So, and then of course at the end was a call to action: schedule your visit. It might be, go to your website, call us today for your free product demo, or come visit us at our location here, or whatever your call to action is. It's very simple if you break it down that way. Now, you may not do something this elaborate if you're doing it on your phone, but if you think about just the structure of it, which is, you might get a little interviews or testimonials from some of your clients if you have customers already. If you use this, I'm going to show you another one after this, another video, but this is kind of a sort of testimonial with these visuals that keep coming in that people hopefully are stimulated by. There's a lot of subliminal stuff going on here, where we're trying to have them picture. We sped it up and slowed it down. It's on a beat too, on the ding ding. There's a lot of beat. So if you're using music, which I highly recommend you use to drive your piece, that's going to stimulate people and get them more focused in, rather than if it was dead air. underneath it. You know, people do videos and they want to talk about something, and music is everything. Some sort of ambient sound or ambient sound music underneath is going to be helpful for you. So, you know, that, you know, I can go further. If you have any questions about this, we can talk about that. I've got some things in chat already. Nothing yet, except for they wanted to see my face. Okay, so here it is, folks. I hope it didn't disappoint you. So anyway,
sorry, I think we have a couple of questions on the Q&A.
Okay, see, that's what I don't have access to. I have, last time I've done this, last 3 or 4 times, I haven't, the moderator usually asks the question and bases it off that. I don't have access to that.
No,
Happy to,
I think you should. Can you please just check, you know, the box immediately after the participant clicks, it tagged Q&A.
I have Q&A and I'm in it right now.
Yeah, so you can see like a couple of questions.
Cannot see the speaker, only hear his voice. Please, can you turn on your camera? Can we put questions on the chat? Yes, you can. That's all the questions I have so far. So I can keep moving on into the new content if you like, and they can come up with their questions and I can answer them afterwards if you want.
Okay. Now, I think I may end up just reading it to you so that you will just answer it. Should I?
Sure, if you like.
Okay.
I mean,
now,
I have one now. One says, can you talk out light, dark, and shadow? I'm not quite sure exactly what that means, but it's talking about some sort of lighting. I know we need a little bit more. Again, you want to make sure you have lighting that's lighting the person's face. You can light the back because there's shadows on walls a lot. You'll put another light in the back. You're talking about 3-point lighting, which is a little more advanced. You would have different lights. One's the key light. You'd have a backlight to knock out the shadows. Otherwise, it'll look like, you know, Friday the 13th or some horror movie, and you're trying to sell, you know, your wares, you know, whatever it is. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's the basics. I noticed you didn't have a logo through the video. What led you to that decision? That's a personal choice of the client. The logo, sometimes we'll put little indicators. I think what you might be talking about, maybe at the bottom or somewhere in the video where it's always there, and it's sort of that branding is always there. That's definitely, we've done that many times, and it really depends on the client. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. A lot of times we can put a banner on the bottom, maybe always have the phone number, website, whatever. So yeah, that's a good question, but that's just a personal decision based on them. Here we go. How do we assess the impact that the video has on our business other than sales? What are metrics are useful in understanding how the video has helped? Well, when you put it on social media, or we use Adobe with our website, an Adobe package, and that gives us analytics of, you know, how many people went in, how many people clicked. You know, sales obviously quantify are big thing that quantify things, but not, you know, if you want the sort of like who went in, who viewed it, who clicked, who left, and all that, there's different things that we have on Adobe with our sites. And I think social media will have in who viewed and stuff like that, like Facebook. But you got to boost your videos and stuff like that. And honestly, Facebook is very mysterious, because a lot of times we've bought ads and not know, you know, you don't know who's seeing them, where they're going. It's very, it's like the person behind the curtain, you know, the man behind the curtain sometimes. So, but we use the Adobe products, and that's been helpful for us. What is the average cost for a typical 30-second video, if at all video clips are supplied to you? The thing about video in this business, you'll have people that'll come in and give you a crazy number for a 30-second spot saying, I don't leave the house for less than $7,500 or $5,000. And other people say, well, I'll do it for $200. And you're going to kind of be like, you get what you pay for. So I think you really need to vet what this person has done. But I'd say the average could be anywhere from, say, A lot of people may not want to use the clips. You know, they don't want to use somebody that's not in the business because it reflects on them. And, you know, people in our industry, that's why we won't release raw footage or take raw footage. So unless you have somebody that's new, then you're willing to take a chance on them, they may not take that. But I would say the average video probably goes for $1,500 to probably $3,000 for a reputable company that's been around and can do it. That's an average. Now you may have somebody who can throw together that is highly capable for a few $100, and somebody that's hungry and is an editor and may take your stuff and do that. There's all kinds of people out there that are capable of doing it. It's just a matter of, will they do it on time for you and do it in a quality that you want it. But that's what I'd say the averages would be. Would you recommend asking previous customers for video clips, testimonials in exchange for product or coupon? Would there be issues piecing together various videos? Yeah, it's a good question. And I would say, again, you don't know what you're getting. Is it lit right? Has it been trimmed? Has it been cropped right? What's the sound like? Is the quality not there? And is that going to reflect, you know? So what I would do is, if you want testimonials, see if you can just go out and get them from people, or set up somewhere in your business. Have a customer day or something. And if you have bricks and mortar, or meet them or go to them and get testimonials and doing an exchange. I mean, it's a good thought. It's just, what's your quality going to be like, you know? Because you know, if it looks like you did it on an iPhone, you know, people may not give you the credibility you deserve. So you have to be a little bit careful, but it's a good possibility. Sure, I'm going to move on to the next one. Since it looks like the questions, I think I've got them. So I'm going to go to another video. Now that I'm just open up, we're full disclosure here that I'm working out of my house today, which we all do nowadays. Let me go to, now I got trying to get my face out of the way. This one is a hot dog. If you've ever been to Delaware and saw, there's a place called, now I can't get the chat out of here and everything. Boy, bear with me here. I guess people are seeing this chat little thing here that I'm trying to get out of. That's that. There it is. Boy. Okay, here's another video that I want to show you now. This one's deer head hot dogs. Again, I'm going to take my video off. Now, this is what's called a sensationalism video. There's no testimonials. This is all to try to get people hungry to eat a hot dog. We'll see if we did our job here. Now, if you see that, I gotta stop things or all my videos will start playing on Vimeo here. So I'll go back, try to get out all this. Here I am, I'm back here. So that, if you noticed, was sensationalism. So it's what I call sensationalism, where it's just visuals that are coming in real fast. And that was very easy to shoot. That was just what we call B-roll. got shots, the guy making the hot dogs. We got up close and personal on the hot dogs, people's faces, eating the hot dogs, ketchup, special sauce. And then you see all the messaging that we just took to the side of the truck, and we basically put some in post-production, some of it, other stuff that's actually on their truck. And we just got those. And that was the messaging. We used their messaging. And of course, at the end, it was, call us or go. You saw the Twitter and Facebook stuff. So that was a very fast-paced music, exciting, people happy, eating hot dogs. So they're able to use that because it's 60 seconds on Instagram, because that's a 60-second or less, I believe. And, social media, it's really good for it because it moves and it's exciting. And it's not a lot of sleepy talking heads, what I call. So that's another type of video you could make. And that's kind of an easy one to make for, because you don't have to worry about people's voices and sound being muffled. You just put a music track. It's like a music video. You just put a music track underneath it and start putting the visuals to it and time the beats on a fast one. So we have some questions. It's an anonymous attendee. I have a product that requires customer installation. Would you recommend sending an email to my previous customer offering a free product exchange for a video clip of their install testimonial? Sure. I mean, if it's worth it to you and it's pennies on the dollar for you and it's going to make them, if you want to do down and dirty stuff like that and put it together yourself and you're not worried about it being really polished, and you're like, I'm just going to get these in people's faces, then you could take those and email them to other potential clients or post them on your website. Sure. It's just, I always think that really when you leave it up to somebody else to do though, and they're doing it in their basement and there's a big noise and their generator is running and they give it to you and they want to be nice and you don't use it because you can't use it and you might offend them, you have to be really careful when you just think people are going to send their own videos in. Because not everybody's a video person and you don't want to hurt their feelings. But I've had that happen on projects where we needed to use family stuff and it was worthless to use. So I would be careful. I would tee them up and say, could you go to a quiet place and maybe, give them a little bit of direction. If I was you, I would do that. But sure, you can do that. What type of affordable equipment would you or could you recommend for a startup? Yeah, I know Deerhead. I live in South Newcastle County. Yeah, it's in the sauce. I haven't had one of those for years, but they're great. The sauce is incredible on those hot dogs. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it really is about the lenses. When you talk about equipment, you can get affordable equipment. You can get a basic camera package, camcorder. If you want, send me an email because I'm not the tech guy. I'm a producer, really. So they stay up on the latest stuff and I can send some recommendations. Happy to do so. But, if you want to get sort of a consumer level, but kind of professional level, if I'm hearing you, we could do that. What video editing software do you recommend for MacBook or iPhone? I definitely say Adobe is what we use, Premiere in the industry. People use Final Cut Pro and stuff like that, but Adobe, because it's always updated, constantly updates because it's online, and it's probably like $29 a month. So it's not a lot of money, and you get all the bells and whistles with it. So I recommend that. As far as iPhone, I don't, because I'm in the business, we use Adobe products. Don't do a lot of iPhone stuff, but I know they have their own built-in iMovie and stuff like that, which works. I mean, it's just, it's really about what you put into it. Sure, Charles, you're welcome. So that was from TJ. So I hope that answers your question. I'm going to go a little bit. Where do I post the videos? We talked about this a little bit. You can do social media, we post. You can ask people to share. Put a question mark. People answer questions. Even showing a physical question mark, a lot of times will prompt people to act when you ask a question. Because people, I don't think we have to ask enough questions in life. We're too busy talking, right? Instead of asking, what do you think about that? Or could you share this for us? or you can pay to play, you know, on social websites, of course. The proactive way to use video, really, and I think it's not done very often, is person-to-person emails or text or instant messaging. Do that kind of marketing with a link where, you know, if you make your video and you have your own YouTube channel, it creates a little link that you can just put in an email or a message or text, and people pop on that thing and it opens up and plays the video. That gets it right in people's faces. You know, you can sort of hope and wish and pray that, you know, you're going to post something on Facebook and people are going to open it and want to maybe hear more about your product line, or you can go after people, which is a more proactive. When I say that, that doesn't mean be aggressive or be obnoxious to people. It just means, you know, to really find, you know, get their email and then hit them with, this is what we do in 60 seconds. That's my product. That's my service. This is my business. We'd love to help you do this and do this for you. Remember, make it a you environment. Make it about them. Not so much about that you have these great products. What do they do for me? That's all I care about. So yeah, that, and then there's some links when you get this. We'll show some correct framing that I did with some jewelry stuff that my wife had. It's really like handheld stuff that I did to just show you some different basics. You're going to get all this. So really, that's what I have. So any other questions? I've got a little bit of time, maybe 20 minutes. If you have more questions about anything. Okay, let me see. I think I answered all these. If I missed one, just send me another one if I got in the feed and I can't get it. My audio is not lowered. I'm maxed as high as I can go. And I got a big mouth, so you probably should be able to hear me. But it might be you, Jacqueline. Where did you get your music for your videos? Okay, there's plenty of Audio Jungle now is a good one. You can get Envato Elements, it's called, which you can get sound effects, video effects. I mean, it's cheap. It's like 20 bucks a month or something. And then you don't have to buy each time. There's libraries and libraries of it. So Envato Elements is a good one. I'm using that right now for a big movie that I'm making, a feature length film, because I got so many sound effects and so many things I want to put in music wise. So I've been using that. So Envato, ENVATO, which is a good one. But Audio Jungle is one we've used over the past. And you spend 20 bucks for a track or whatever it is. But the Envato, it's just you pay a monthly fee. And if you're going to use it often, it gives you more variety and you don't have to pay each time. It could get costly. So that's where I got the music. So again, if you have any questions after this, or send me a note, my email is gordon@filmbrothers.com if you want to talk about the business or the business aspect of it. But I think, again, it's, if you want it, this is something that's real important. If you want to think about how you're going to lay out a video, who are the players? What's the conflict? What's the solution? Or who wins and fails at the end? That's the 3-act play in a movie or a play. But if you think about that, that's about marketing too. It's who's your audience? You know, what's their conflict? What's their pain? What's their, what's going on in their life that they're going to need your product or your service or whatever it is you're providing, and how does that solution come about? So if you set up a story in 30 seconds, it would be, here's who we are, here's the conflict that's going on, or a need. Maybe it's not a conflict, but it's a need. And then here's the solution. If you can do that quickly and get into that and use that, that's the storyline that you can hopefully hook in potential clients and customers. So when I think about videos, we always say, who are the players? Who's our audience? You know, what's the messaging? You know, you've got this bad rash on the back of your neck and I got a cream that can help you, whatever it is, you know, and then what's the solution? You look at commercials, a lot of times they take that approach, unless you do the sensationalism like the Deer Head hot dogs. I'm just trying to sell some hot dogs, right? Put those delicious looking things in your face and put some really pumping music up and make it exciting. You got to eat this hot dog. I'm so excited. So, but that's kind of some ways that you can better your business. Hopefully I've said some things of value today. I don't know. But I've got a couple new messages. Okay.
Before you continue, I just want to draw the attention of our attendees that I just posted a 30-second survey about today's webinar. Remember, we at Temple SPDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us to improve on the services we provide to you guys at the local. So kindly take a 30-second and help us to fill out the survey, please. You can continue.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks, Bob. I did the bottle versus can video. Yeah, so I'm doing that's my new movie. It's about the battle between the bottle and can in the beer world. So people that are beer drinkers might enjoy that. Shameless little plug there, but thank you, Bob. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Wait till you see the new one. Do you hire actors or any of your videos, and how do you find them? Yes, we do. And I have my Film Brothers Facebook page is I do a lot of posting on there for like, we need an actor. Maybe they don't have a lot of experience, but they fit a certain look or a certain age group or demographic for us. We might give them a shot or audition. Otherwise, we've like for this movie, we got 50+ actors through Mike Lemon Casting, and we hired them. And we pay some do it they're there for an hour and they just want the experience. So it's a mixture. It just depends on the client and how important it is, as far as a look or like a true actor that really can hit their lines, because a lot of times you get somebody who have a great look but they just can't articulate. So yes, we do sometimes. The people in like the Deer Head video, they were just people that were customers there, and we had them eating hot dogs. And so it wasn't that hard. They worked for food that day, as a lot of actors have. Anybody that's in the business will know. But at this point, we're paying people decent salaries when they're in our movies mostly, or if we do a spot for a high-end client or something like that. What else? Anything else? I really appreciate you being part of this today. And hopefully, again, you've taken something away from it. And if something comes up later, questions that you have, say, oh, I wish I asked this. So that happens to all of us. Send me a note. Send me a Gordon at Film Brothers. I'm happy to engage. I always get back to you.
Okay.
Missing anything here in the Q&A? I see a Q&A and a chat. Is that the same thing?
Now, these are two different things, but I think you've actually, what happened is this. Most of them actually, the questions they drop on the Q&A, they actually, drop the same thing on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you've actually touched this one. Would you recommend using Canva to make videos?
Now, I'm not familiar with it. I've heard of it, but I haven't delved into Canva at all. Is it something that's sort of a plug and play type thing, like like from your phone or something, or goes? I'm not as familiar.
I think Canva, to the best of my knowledge, it's like how do I put it? What you use to like to design something, just like oh my God, how do I?
It's like a design template or something like that.
Yeah, more or less like
there's
a
lots
design
of those
template.
things. Yeah, so I mean, if it works, great. It's just a matter of, I think it's more important about the messaging. I mean, I have had people that made beautiful videos and their messaging's terrible, and nobody cares how pretty it is. And then there's people that have really good messaging and it's so stuff, and that can be distracting to the viewer. So I'd say if it works for you, great. I can look into Canva. If anybody's interested, send me that email again, and I'll talk more to my tech guys. And if that's something that you all like to next time in your reviews or whatever, if you want more technical, like really technical stuff, I can just have somebody from my tech team be with me. I'm more of the marketing of the videos and how they work and your messaging and stuff like that. When you want to get to, using certain lighting and stuff like that, you're talking, I would question if that's taken away from, your sales and your operations and running your business. If you're really getting that deep into it, maybe you should be a videographer or something. So, but I certainly can have people come in that really can talk into the technical aspects or answer your questions if you send me a note.
Okay, we've got a couple of minutes left. We have like 15 minutes to 40 minutes left before we wrap it up. I will just give like 3 minutes to see if any question will come up.
Sure.
But before, even as we still wait for the 3 minutes, I just want to thank each and every one of you for keeping it a day with us. I want to thank our wonderful presenter. I love the way the presentation actually went, the way everything flowed. And I also like the way, the questions actually came up on board and, you actually nailed it. Now, to take it home, I also want to thank my wonderful Temple SPDC colleague for their usual support and encouragement for making it possible for this webinar to come into existence. Like I said, I will be given like 3 to 4 minutes to see if any question will come up before we wrap it up. So please, to my wonderful attendees, once again, if you have a question, kindly drop it on the Q&A or the chat box, and he is here and will definitely answer it.
Yeah, if there's anything about the marketing of it too, there's one thing to make a pretty video, and the other thing is about how you're going to market this, how you're going to put it out there. And again, if I can reiterate it, I would say that really I think you should make a YouTube channel, and even if it has no subscribers or whatever, and because once you post your videos from your phone or wherever you're doing it, it creates a link. It creates a set of numbers and codes or whatever, which is unique to your video. And what that does is that enables you to put it into an email, put it into a text, put it into a Facebook message. Believe it or not, I do a lot of selling over Facebook Messenger, and where it's just people are on that constantly. And so when you have that link and it goes to the YouTube and plays right on their device, that's instant eyes on your video. And I can't stress enough how important that is, where people make videos and they just post it and they think, oh, nobody saw it, or I'm not getting any sales. And that's reactive. And that's sort of like hoping and wishing and praying that somebody's going to look at it, instead of, going and finding people and then directly hitting them with that link. That's what the biggest thing I think I've taken away, is to be able to do that. You can really grow your business that way. At least you can start a conversation. It's not like they have to buy right away. You just get them sort of interested in talking to you. So anything else? I see a couple coming in now. What else do you do to provoke emotions in your videos if you don't want to have a script? Music does a good job on that, but does lighting do that too? No, I would say, again, if you have testimonials, if you're not going to do a script, and you can get testimonials from people as to what your product or service has done to make their life better, their life easier, made them happier, made them save money, helped with their kids. These are the emotional needs I'm talking about. It's not just emotion like happy, sad emotion. It's like, what irritates me in the morning when I wake up? If I've got so much work to do, that your product can help me streamline my work. Something simple like that. That's emotional needs. I think the testimonials are big if you can get them from customers, or you set things up to hit those emotional needs and hit those hot buttons and those talking points. I'm not sure if I explained that well, but I think it's more of, the words and the narrative and the messaging. Question: Can we get all this webinar videos for our education and future reference? Sure. They're online, all these videos. I mean, I've got 800 plus videos on Vimeo. If you go to Film Brothers, you can browse through them, but some of them, you know, were for clients and most of them were for clients. So if you want some specific examples, you can use the ones in the presentation or just ask me something you're looking for. What would you recommend if you want to make content but not show your face? Do you have any suggestion on how to make effective content without showing your face? I mean, that's what we did with the deer head one. If it's just product and you can use voiceover, I'm not a huge fan of voiceover because, again, you know, you wanted to see my face, a lot of you. Do I trust this person? Do I trust what they're saying? I mean, you know, if you don't want to do that and you want to do it with product and music and like text coming across the screen with messages or, you know, durable plastic or whatever, you know, you're going to put up like it's a commercial, you know, those are things you can do without showing your face. And you can always do voiceover if you want to really talk about it. Otherwise, you just show it with music. Thank you, Jacqueline, for the kind words. Who else? What do you recommend? I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. I think that's all I have for now.
Yeah.
So unless you see ones I'm missing here.
I think you've answered all the questions that actually came up, because there's none on the Q&A and none on the chat box. I think in the absence of any other thing, we just give it up for the day. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, everybody who's still on, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.